Yeah, well, it's coming up on 10 years, 9.5 years, 10 years in January, I think. We came to the club in the second division, stayed up on the last day of the season, our first year, and thought, okay, we got this now, we'll get this all squared away, sign some new players, and the next year went down to third division, which is crazy, obviously, here. I think it's there's like 80 teams, 4 regions in the third division. So, but we tried to invest in the team and stick with it, and we came right back up. And so, ironically, when we came back to second division, we said, okay, now we're here. Let's just solidify and build something long-standing, and immediately went up to La Liga. So it's kind of a crazy beginning to our journey. Then came straight back down to second, and then went back up, and have been up for 5-6 years now. So incredible start, lots of craziness, incredible playoff with Deportivo La Coruña, where we scored 3 goals at home to come back from 2-0 at their place to go up. And it's been a lot of fun and a source of pride for us to be a part of this 100-plus-year-old club.
Well, I think in sports you never get too high with the highs and too low with the lows. You got to keep working hard. I think eventually there'll always be disappointments. There are some great times, but through good and bad times, you need to work. You need to trust your coaching staff and the players, and get players in that obviously want to work and play hard and play for the club and represent the club the right way. And so it's I think, in a good club, in a good organization, I think everybody's pulling on the same strings, and everybody's is working to better the club. And yeah, you have to believe that in the players that they bring in, and in the club management, and in the owners even, that they do the right things and put the club in position to be successful and represent the area and the club the right way.
The process is important to pick a direction, to pick a North Star, to say, what do we want to represent, and what do we want our teams to look like, our academy to look like, how we want our players to behave. But you can imagine a bunch of Americans and a Canadian comes in, takes over the club, and we go down to the third division within a year and a half or so. It was
there were some doubters there.
Well, a lot of people stopped coming. Right? And one, you're dropping levels. 2, they're like, what are these guys doing? But it was a process, and as you know, you gotta work through, decide on a direction and work towards that. But like you said, it's hard work. Like, who wants to work hard? Who wants to work together? If you do that, you're gonna make improvements. I think in Spain, it's normal to change coach almost every year, right? Whereas I think we feel like you have to develop coaches too. We develop players. You have to develop coaches. You have to develop your system. You have to develop your sporting director, that department you're scouting. You keep developing. You don't always change and hope someone has the right cards, Try to develop, refine your process, improve. So, I mean, you've seen it before, right? Like, teams deciding to pick a direction, stick with it, or bailing early doesn't mean you're going to improve.
But also, you're not a club that just buys people and has the money and the resources to just buy the best players, buy the best coaches, and say, here, you do it. You have to. If you're a smaller club, you have to do it through academy, through developing everybody. Everybody's working together and wants to work and get better and never be satisfied. I think that's part. I mean, I grew up in Germany in a small club, and that's how we, got promoted. And everybody is the GM is at every practice and is passionate and wants to learn. And I think that's the only way for a smaller club to get better is develop your own people. And grow from the bottom, and I think that's the only way to do it.
The game always evolves, right? Basketball, soccer, especially nowadays, I think it's evolving quickly because of technology, analytics, data, physical training. For me, it's interesting because it's becoming faster. It's like a young man's game. Even the NBA is like a young man's game. Changing ends becomes really important. But you also can play longer if you know how to take care of yourself, and with all the modern medicine. So I don't know, I think you see it. The game kind of is changing like this because of technology.
If I talk to people from other sports or old legends from other sports, they all say it's the physicality of the players, the fitness. They train different now, they eat different now, they lift weights, all this stuff that 20, 30, 40 years ago was not as popular. So I think that's really has changed the game, the athleticism of the players in every sport. And so it's been fun to watch the evolution in basketball, where we are now, in in soccer and how the game has changed. So it's been fun to watch, and I don't really know where the ceiling is, where the games keep growing, because these guys now are so fast and athletic and skilled, and but it's been fun to watch all sports develop the last 20, 30 years as I've been involved in sports.
Yeah, I mean, I think we both played till we were 40. You played till 41?
Yeah, almost 41.
Almost 41. We both played till we were 40. We both had a big passion to play. That's the number one thing. We also were curious. We tried to learn, how can we take care of ourselves better? How can we learn nutrition, sleep, training techniques? But, you know, it's tricky because you have, on one hand, you have more knowledge now. You have even improved medical teams, performance teams, but it's also, the game's more demanding. So you have to find the balance between the youth, but also being a competitive older player who has the understanding and the nous to play at the level. You don't want to lose those guys either. So it's an interesting time because players can play longer, but typically there's more youth in the game nowadays.
Yeah, I think you have to show some discipline as you get older, and really, like Steve said, learn about all these things, and then, you know, integrate them in your life, which sometimes not everybody wants to do, and eat right all the time and not go out and not drink. You have to take care of your body if you want to keep up with somebody that's basically half your age. So it's about taking care of your body, getting your sleep, getting your rest, and like Steve mentioned, the analytics department and, you know, the medical staff. Everything is so much better now, how we take care of their bodies, and you are able to play longer if you take care of your body. You're willing to show the sacrifice and the discipline. I think yeah, it's definitely possible. Germans, yes, lots of Germans are here. Lots of celebrity Germans live here actually in the summer. So, but yeah, I think it's growing in the U.S. It's getting more of a destination, and I mean, it's a beautiful spot. So you know, you got the ocean, you got the hills, you got everything here. So it's a beautiful spot. But
yeah, we love it. I mean, tourism is a big part of Mallorcan life. At the same time, you want to retain the roots, the culture. You want to retain the history. You want people to come to Mallorca, whether you live here and you want to retain your history and your culture, or you come here. You know, typically, I hope people come here to experience the culture and the history, not just the weather and you know, eat things that they eat at home. So it's a very difficult balance. You don't want to lose the history and the culture. You want to maintain that. You want to carry that on for generations to come. But at the same time, it is a fantastic place. No matter where you're from and you come here, there's something for everybody. But the history also is very special, not just the beaches, the water, the weather. The history here is beautiful. The food, the culture, the cuisine, and all the things that come with it are what makes it special.
I've been in Mallorca plenty of times. Obviously, as I mentioned, it's a big tourist destination for a lot of Germans. And so I remember I came a long time ago, 20, 30 years ago for the first time. And it's obviously developed a lot more now, more places to go. But I think it did a good job kind of keeping the culture and the heritage together. And so no, we're excited to be here and explore. See what has changed, what's new, but like Steve said, I think it's important to find a good balance between tourism and, you know, make the tourists feel welcome, but also keep your cultural heritage in place.
It was a big surprise, I think, for everybody. Fans, general managers, players, everyone was surprised. You know, he's a historic player, and anytime a player like that moves, you know, it's shocking. But that's what sports is. Sports has always got a surprise you don't think is going to happen. So, you know, it happened. I think, you know, it's obviously something that means a lot in Dirk's world, being you know, the legend of the Mavericks and living in Dallas still and being a mentor to Luka. But it was a big surprise to everybody.
Yeah, agreed. Nobody saw this coming, and this was not just basketball news, this was world news. I was actually traveling somewhere, and this was all over TV, and so I was surprised how big those news were. And yeah, it was a tough decision I think the club had to make, and you know, it's just it happened. I think it's in the NBA. There's always stuff that surprises everybody. That's what kind of keeps it, I guess, interesting also. And of course, I want to support Luka, but I'm also Maverick for life, you know. So this was a tough decision for me. But I want to keep obviously supporting both. I want to wish Luka obviously the best in in LA, and I think he's going to have a great career there. And of course, the Mavs moved on and now got the first pick. So I think at this point, both sides are moving on and hopefully doing well after.
I mean, last season was quite relaxing. Many years, you're just trying to count down from 2019-18, where are we, from the bottom. But last year, the players and the coaches did such a great job. It was a very relaxing year as far as staying in La Liga, and also gave us an opportunity to dream about Europe potentially. But again, it's always a double-edged sword. You want to climb high, but you also are trying to make sure that the fans have a club that they can be proud of, but it feels there's a lot of stability. So that's really important for us, is to find that stability.
So I follow the team obviously a little bit through Steve's eyes. He's told me obviously about this journey for a while now. So I'm happy that both sides enjoy the process and are involved. And he's a very passionate soccer fan, way more passionate than I am. So I'm happy he is enjoying it. And of course, thanks for hosting me and my boys today. And I wish you guys a great season coming up. And
it's been a lot of fun.
Look at
Stop the count.
Yeah, it's not.